This is a microphone check. Microphone check. MCAC final Sunday. Microphone check. Women's Championship game featuring the Providence Pilots and your Brandon University Bobcats. Here's today's starting lineup for the Providence Pilots. Number 1, Blake Foster. Number 4, Cassie Hoitima. Number 5, Dakota Bear. Number 6, Haley Medeiros. Number 9, Jenna Harzma. Number 16, Olivia Swaby. Number 18, Serena Negrich. Number 19, Jada Codling. Number 20, Izzy Cooey. Number 21, Holly Owen. And number 23, Natalie Crichton. And now it's time for the starting lineup for your Brandon University Bobcats. Your starting goaltender, number 1, Josie Black. Number 5, Brogan Henry. Number 6, Keisha Masters. Number 8, Mackenzie Boys. Number 9, Sophia Collier. Number 10, Sarah Switzer. Number 11, Emily Dornes. Number 12, Kennedy Jansen. Number 13, Georgia Hode. Number 16, Molly McPherson Blair. And number 20, Bean Van Berkel. Before we begin this game, fans, BU would like to acknowledge the lands that we are on.
University has campuses on Treaty 1 and Treaty 2 lands, and we are a gathering place with people from many backgrounds and around the world. In this way, we carry on the indigenous and Inuit. The plants, animals, and people who share their history, traditions on the land and water of this area deeply influence our gatherings today. Thank you to all for sharing this space with us today.
At this time, we'll ask if you're able to do so. Please rise. Remove any headwear for the playing of our national anthem.
welcome to our finals day match. We have the visiting Providence Pilots against the hometown Brandon University Bobcats in the finals matchup that we've been waiting for, that we've expected all season long. Brandon comes in as the number 1 seed. Providence Pilots come in as the number 2 seed. The only thing that separates them in the regular season is 1 draw. So we've had a fantastic season, a fantastic semifinals, and now it all comes down to this championship game here at the HLC. Winner books their trip to Red Deer to represent Manitoba, along with all the other provinces in the country, to see who is the top collegiate team in Canada. But first, we need to see who the top collegiate team is in Manitoba. Coin toss is done and players are heading back to their benches to see which side they're going to start on. Energy is high. The crowd is as big as it's ever been here at the HLC, and we'll get kickoff going here momentarily. Refs are going to go check the nets to make sure everything's good, and we'll have kickoff at center field in another minute. Both teams were able to book their ticket into the finals yesterday. Providence besting the St. Boniface Les Rouges 4-0, while the Brandon University Bobcats were able to best the CMU Blazers here at the HLC 14-0. So both teams are coming off of shutouts and high scoring action. We'll see how both teams match up here, as they've met several times in the MCAC regular season. Both teams playing each other 3 times, with the Bobcats coming out victorious 2 out of the 3. And so players are taking the field here, and the referee's coming to make sure everybody is where they should be. Bit of a windy day today, overcast. Wind is looking to be blowing towards the northeast. Can't make up its mind if it's going to go straight across the field or not. But we do have a bit of a wind to factor in today. Bobcats are starting on their west side, while the Providence Pilots will be kicking off on the east side. So we'll get things going momentarily. Kickoff is underway, and Bobcats start with things off with a boot to half. Providence volleyed back in. Bobcats being the defending 2-time champions here in the MCAC conference, and we have a foul right off the bat on boys, so the Bobcats can settle their nerves down quick. Bobcats will be looking to settle into the game, same with the Pilots. Nerves will be at an all-time high right now, but the more touches and the more the game goes on, the more the nerves will get settled and players will get rid of those game time jitters. Again, both teams coming in relatively the same in the regular season. Just as we say that, we have a good save there by Josie Black on a break by the Pilots. Owen coming in on the break there. Josie Black going to be booting this out. Providence having quite a bit of possession in the Bobcat half so far. There's Masters now going to be looking to go down the near sideline. Looks like it'll be a Bobcat throw in here. Again, plenty of nerves for everybody, crowd included, as we get this championship game underway. Looks like it'll be a Bobcat foul. Both teams, again, relatively the same in the regular season. 9 wins, 1 loss, 2 ties for the Pilots as they enter the playoffs here. And the Bobcats come in 10 wins, 1 loss, 1 tie. So not much separates the two. 1 point differential on the regular season has culminated into this matchup here today. Bobcats will be looking to use the tried and true possession-based soccer game here, while the Pilots have been keen on using that explosive over-the-top ball so far. Pilots throwing here. McPherson Blair puts out, no, must have touched the pilot on the way out, so this will be a goal kick. Both teams disciplined in their tactics, their formations, which has gotten them to where they are today. As the game gets settled out, they'll see kind of how they want to play things off the goal kicks. Bobcats have not been afraid to use that short passing game. There's a boot to start things off, a deflection, and now the Bobcats are off to the races. Hoydema gets it in the middle there. Providence maintain possession. Here's Bear. Pilots are thriving in that fast-paced back and forth game, where the Bobcats enjoy a more calm, cool, collected game style. Here come the Pilots using that fast-paced turnover. Looks like it'll be a Pilots throw in here on the near side. Codling with the throw. Over the top, Switzer able to handle that. Ball comes out just inside the Bobcat half. Codling again with the throw. Handled by Kellier. McPherson Blair says enough is enough. Both teams have to be decisive with their clearances. When they're in trouble defensively, they're going to have to make sure they clear the ball away, whether it goes out or not. They'll have to take one, maybe two touches, nothing too fancy. Both teams are aggressive on the offense, out of possession. They'll be looking for as many turnovers as possible. Switzer there doing a good job blocking the Pilots away from that ball. Earn her team a goal kick. Josie Black didn't have much work yesterday in the 14-0 win over the Blazers. So she'll welcome a bit of action as long as it doesn't go anywhere past her. Masters with a tough touch. Ref allows the ball to continue moving, and Masters is going to use her speed. Here comes Hode, here comes Jansen. Great job by Foster coming out there to stop the break. A tool we haven't really seen used too often. Our keepers that are coming out as more of a defenseman, if need be. Masters there tripped up, bit of contact after the play, so this will be a foul against the Pilots. Masters able to get up under her own power. Van Berkel sporting that powerful free kick. Looking to curl this into the 18-yard box, I imagine. There it is. This could be using the wind a bit. Good hands by Foster, though, to scoop that up. Here comes a boot high in the air. Good header there by Van Berkel to get that down. Switzer can't quite get her foot wrapped around it, and that'll be a Pilot's throw taken quickly. Head of the way there by Negrich and out of play. One facet of the game the Bobcats look to improve on is their aerial battles. Yesterday, most of the offense seen by the Blazers was due to the ball just being able to bounce after a goal kick or possession kick. So if they can win the ball in the air, it's going to make the Pilots work a little bit harder to get any sort of possession. Josie Bach's going to have to come out and grab this. Brandon just doesn't quite seem as settled as the Pilots right now. McPherson Blair now in the middle to Jansen. Jansen has to turn. Out to Callier. Callier is going to have to think twice about that. Does so. Van Berkel goes over the top now. So a couple layoff long balls have been pretty effective thus far. We'll see what happens. Van Berkel unable to boot that anywhere in play, and that'll be a Pilots throw-in. Coddling now with the throw. Van Berkel keeps it in play. Swaby now trying her fancy feet. Hode's going to have to battle her and loses out on that. McPherson Blair decides to put this just into the Pilots territory and a reset the play. Good boot there by Foster. You can see the importance of getting that first touch as the ball is able to bounce over top of several of the Bobcat defenders. McPherson Blair doing a good job there battling with Owen and puts that out of play. Owen with the throw in now. Finds her teammate Hoydema. Hoydema inside now. Negrich working against Switzer. Switzer holding her head. Earning her team a goal kick. Both teams, again, very disciplined in their formation and their roles. Formation-wise, we're not seeing too much of a difference between the two teams. Looks like they're playing 4 defenders, 4 midfield, 2 attacking players. And that's, for the most part, a safe formation where teams can adjust defensively or offensively, depending on what comes of the play. Again, Foster coming out really far to make sure she's able to act as a defender more so than a keeper. For a team that likes to put the through ball and balls over the top, having a sweeper keeper, as we call it, is pretty useful. Keeper doesn't have to stay far back in their net and let a one-on-one happen or breakaway. They can come out and act as though a final line of defense is behind everybody. Here we go with the free kick. Crichton didn't quite get everything she wants on that. Here comes Callier now. Masters going to use her speed to get around everybody on this far or near sideline. Good defense there by Bear to shove her off the ball. Bobcats do get a throw in. Looks like it'll be a throw for the Bobcats. Referee was unsure, so was the linesman. Had a blocked view. Jansen into the middle now. Hode just hitting her arm there. She was trying to brace for the ball. Creighton now. Ball over the top, and Berkel's going to head that back in. You can see the progress after that is halted if you can win that aerial battle. Looks like it'll be Pilot's ball. Hoydema throwing it in here, down the line. Switzer able to handle that. Hoydema again with the throw. Ball goes inside this time, and that'll be Medeiros. Back and forth on the near sideline here. Ball does come out to Negrich. She's going to use that speed to try and get outside. Switzer doing a great job there of battling and getting the touch off of Negrich for a goal kick. Both teams not afraid to be physical here. A lot of shoulder-to-shoulder action, quality tackles being made. Referee allowing play to continue unless there's something he deems as a little too physical. Switzer doesn't quite get the height she needed, and now Ball comes all the way back after just a missed touch there by Hoydema. Would have liked to have that go about half as far as it did. Again, today's championship match will crown the collegiate team as the top collegiate team in Manitoba, and they'll then represent Manitoba in Red Deer against other provinces and collegiate teams from around Canada. Good save there by Josie Black, securing the ball away from Owen. Bobcats not used to having to put this much time on their back foot defensively, so we'll see what kind of spark they can get as they battle through the game. Both teams aren't afraid to switch their tactics. Again, looks like Bobcats are trying to settle into the game and create a little more of a slow-paced, methodical style, but aren't afraid to get those fast breaks going as well. Looking to just give an outlet pass up to Hode or even Masters and try to get them running on the ball. While Providence are looking to just create a bit of havoc in the middle, use their physicality to get to the loose ball first. Here comes that outlet over to Hode. Hode's gonna have to battle against the taller Codling. And here comes Negrich. Passes it back, doesn't quite find the mark though. So, excuse me, Hoydema. Masters plays it in quick. Hode having to battle against two defenders. Callier now unable to get the throw in for her team and has to rush back. This will be a pilot's throw. Throw down the line, doesn't quite find the mark, but does go off of a Bobcat, so this will move the ball a bit further down. Big throw, just a little more inside this time, handled well by Switzer. Over the top, and you can see those aerial battles are going to be important because here comes the ball after the bounce there. And we did have a player down to the ground. It looked like Negrich had to take a bit of a tumble there after a tackle by Switzer. The ref says nothing sinister about that. Here comes Dornez. Van Berkel takes a touch inside, looks to boot it up. Hode has an unfortunate bounce there. Doesn't quite get the ball to where it needs to go. Boys now to Brogan Henry. Boys through to Hode. Hode's gonna have to do something here. Doesn't quite get to the final defender there, and the defense of the Pilots being tested. Foul against Van Berkel brings the ball to a stop. And a free kick just inside Bobcat half. This will be Swaby now taking this, looking to land this probably somewhere around the 18-yard box. It'll be against the wind, so she'll have to play it a bit low, a little too low for her liking, I imagine, there. And here come the Pilots again, using again that physicality to just out-muscle some of the Bobcats to the ball, despite the Bobcats getting there first. Throw in by Dornez. Henry now is going to have to switch the field. A lot of room for Callier now, able to move it up. Callier has a bit of time, decides to go over the top to Masters. Masters with a good touch, gets inside. Here comes Hode against Foster. Foster's going to have to kick it. Doesn't quite get what she wants out of it, but does end up getting to a Pilot. Switzer's going to be putting this back in, and the Bobcats are happy just to have the ball down in the Pilot's half. A couple of missed touches there gives Jansen the ball. Switch of the field to Henry. Henry a touch outside to Dornez. Dornez going to look for a cross, maybe a pass back to Henry. Good take inside. Henry's going to have a touch around the defender there, but the Pilots again very disciplined in their formation. Looks like it'll be a Bobcat throw. Big throw over the top. Masters able to head it back. Hode is by herself in the middle there, has the time to take it down. Dornez has it on the outside. She might fancy a shot from here. Does, and handled by Foster pretty easily. Both keepers able to handle the ball in the first 20 minutes or so of the game. Good couple touches on the ball, and you can see the importance of getting that momentum stopped early with a header or body part on the ball. Van Berkel now with the touch. Good battle there on the outside or in the inside. There we go. Owen's able to try and spring Negrich, and that clearance takes the deflection back, and Josie Black has it in her hands. Pass to the outside is going to be a bouncing ball, so Dornez is going to have a bit of work to do. Doesn't get it up the line as far as she needed to, and Madaros is able to win her team a throw in here. So a bit of action on the far side. Sees Cooey with the throw in. Another throw in for Cooey. Good header there by Boys. Henry now has Hode up with 3 defenders of the Pilots. Jansen now. Here's that tandem. Masters has a bit of speed. She's going to have to get around one more defender. Swaby doing a good job defending that, not panicking at all. Able to handle the speed of Masters with her positioning. Hode, touch inside to Henry. Henry might fancy a shot. No, decides to go back inside. Clearance by the Pilots lets them breathe as the Bobcats are starting to pile on the pressure. Bit of movement by the Bobcats, doesn't phase the Pilots too much. Jansen taken to the ground, that'll be a foul. This will be Van Berkel taking this free kick. No, Boys is going to be coming over to take this. Van Berkel might be heading in there to use her height. So here comes the free kick. Good curling kick. Able to use a bit of that wind and hits somebody on the side of the face there. Deflection now up in the air. Cleared out of harm's way there by Codling. The referee plays advantage here, and now Pilots have 4 players up. And then a missed opportunity there by Owen on the break. She had time, she was around Switzer, but ball just got out of her feet. And you can see how quickly things happen there was Bobcats putting on the pressure here. 1 touch outside, maybe a second touch too many, and just she knew right away that that ball was not going to where she wanted. So the first goal-scoring opportunity, I would say, comes for the Pilots in this physical battle here at the HLC. Touch there off of the Pilots gives Bobcats a throw-in. Callier now looking to throw this down the line. Nope, spots Jansen on the inside. Switches the field there. Bobcats just not first to the ball, so Pilots able to clear that out. Switzer's gonna have to run back. Good pass over to Callier under pressure. And we have Negrich unable to get that cross in as it was blocked by Switzer. Now this will be a corner kick. An eye test just determines that Pilots might be a bit more advantageous in the height category here today. Traditionally a very disciplined and well settled team when it comes to set plays, so they'll have something that they've rehearsed here. Players going to specific spots. Good deflection by Henry. Ball is going to have to get cleared out at some point. Boys is able to head it down. An attempt at putting the ball back in, just puts it high and wide. It'll be a throw-in though, as Hoytema is able to put it down deep into Bobcat territory. They'll look to keep the Bobcats right where they are. Quick clear here, McPherson Blair might help the situation. This will be a throw-in again, deep in Bobcat territory. Kind of a best case scenario if you're the Pilots. Callier's gonna have to throw this in over top of quite a few Pilots who are just waiting for something to drop. Jansen and Boys back and forth. Jansen down the line. Swaby doing a good job playing this back to Foster, who's going to look to boot this. Gets it high, bit of backspin there. Headed out by the Bobcats. Here's Hoytema. Boys falling to the ground. And the Bobcats commit a handball infraction here, so this will be a free kick for the Pilots. Looks like we'll have Creighton over top of this. Hoping to put this somewhere inside that 18-yard area, have it curling. She will be fighting the wind though. Low stinger. Has the ball bouncing around just outside the 18. Jansen taking a shot there to the leg. Able to get up. Boys tries her left foot and has that come out off the outside. Hoytema with the throw. Here comes Negrich doing a good job just forcing Switzer to play it outside for a Pilot's throw. Header there by Switzer. Ball up in the air. Josie Black able to handle that. I imagine she's going to look to just get this out. Give her team a bit of time to breathe. Pilots, again, winning that aerial battle. Good ball there by Henry. Springs the Bobcats. All over the top here. Into Foster's hands. She's pointing right away down the field, so she knows where she wants to go, but that gust of wind at the last second might have thrown her off. Boys. Pressured there by Hoytema. All right, down the line. Onto Switzer's foot, who puts it right into the waiting Pilot. This would be a goal kick. Bobcats just getting out-muscled by a team that's equally as fast as them. And that recipe, they're just at a loss right now. They've had a couple breaks, but they're just a little bit too slow on their reactions to spring their offensive powerhouse trio. But just as I say that, here they come. Henry's looking for Hode, but Foster's rushing out to get to this. Foster holding that left leg though. It is bandaged up pretty well, so might be a lingering injury, but injuries are out the window here in the championship game. Henry with a good turn. Over to Masters. Masters with a good first touch. It gives her a bit of time to decide what to do. Ball goes up in the air there, and Swaby doesn't get the head she wants on that, and now Bobcats will be able to throw it in again. Over the top finds Hode. Providence doing a good job just playing that one-touch game where they're sort of bouncing balls, just kicked immediately rather than trying to control it, which has resulted in a lot of balls going into the Bobcat end. Free kick here. The referee might have spotted the shove in the back, so Pilot's able to drive it into the Bobcat end. Creighton now. That's exactly what the Pilots need to do, with low free kicks, low kicks to get it out of the wind. Here's Ho now able to control that. Henry with an opportunity to get on goal. Might just have to get a shot just to test the keeper. Creighton doing a good job stepping up and blocking that. Van Berkel now with the towering kick, handled well by Foster. Foster showing her good hands with that save. No rebounds, no bobbles at all. Boys now able to bring this down. Tries to find Masters, intercepted though by Codling. Providence now looking to throw this in. Here's the Masters, just dumps it in and lets Ho try to use her speed, but Swaby's up to the challenge. She's going to have a bit of an advantage here, having a keeper to play it back to. There's Foster with a good boot away. Good back and forth there from the Pilots, allows them to play the tic-tac-toe game. And now here's Negrich off to the races, but Switzer up for the challenge. Ball does fall in between Negrich's feet and cleared off again by Switzer. Both defenses active and showing their speed, matching some of the striking and offensive powerhouse from their opposition. Substitution here at half. Looks like it'll be Callier coming off. Callier coming off. And Garnham coming on, so could be a tactical change, could be a injury, we're not sure. Pilots looking to drive this in. Pilots now looking to take the advantage. Good tackle there. Referee says the tackle was good, but it is a corner kick. We do have a player down here. Madeiros down. Clenching, looks to be an ankle or maybe a calf. Hoping she gets up under her own power here.
Okay, White, playing well.
So a bit of an injury timeout here as we have player down inside the Bobcat half. A good tackle there by Van Berkel. Concedes the corner kick. Once play resumes. Again, both teams coming into this MCAC Final Four as favorites of their matchups, and now are meeting here in the championship game. Maduros able to get up under her own power, just walking off as a precaution. Both teams coming in with near identical records. The only thing separating them again is one tie, one draw in the season, so 1 point difference after the season comes to an end, which had the Bobcats at the #1 seed on top of the standings and the Providence Pilots as #2 seeds. Both were able to dispatch their opponents yesterday. And now they're here in the championship game. Winner moves on to Red Deer to represent Manitoba. Here we have a corner kick. Definitely subpar for the quality we've seen so far, and Hode able to drop back and give the ball to Henry. Henry's gonna have to use her speed and creativity to get by some of the defense, but Hode now is coming up. She might fancy a shot from distance. Chip over the top. Oh, hits the outside of the goal. Great job by the Bobcats, able to identify that Foster likes to come out as that final defender. Here's that ball, and just over the top, had her stranded. It did hit the back bar on the goal, but it was an opportunity that, had it been another foot to the left, it would have been in the back of the net. So Hode and Henry combined there on the fast break to get the Bobcats their goal scoring opportunity. Here comes ball back and forth inside Pilots territory now, and ball comes over the top. Henry able to hop on it. She's going to have to act quickly, but Foster is first to it. Foster with the big boots, going to land past half here and help out the Pilots. Good job there by the Pilots, just using their physicality, and McPherson Blair is going to have to just tap this out, let her team recover. And now Josie Black is on the back foot here as the ball's in her end. Job by McPherson Blair heading that away. Job there by Hoydema, able to win her team a corner kick, and now the Bobcats are going to have to match up and do their best to get a touch on this in the air. Providence setting up in that bunch on that far post, so we'll see what kind of set play they have here. Looks like it's going to be a low corner to one of their taller players. Good header there. Volley doesn't happen, and chip over the top. Save there by Josie Black, maybe, or Henry. And you can see the importance of just getting a touch on it in the air, winning that aerial battle. As if you can deflect it somewhere people aren't expecting, then the odds go up of a clearance attempt. Comes another set play by the Pilots. A low corner again, looking just for that deflection at the near post, I think. This time it doesn't work out for them, and they have to rush back for a corner or for a goal kick. Again, bit of a windy day here. Wind is kind of evened out. Looks like it's going across the field now as a north wind. Even showing a bit of northwest. Boys with the ball. Over to Josie Black. She's just gonna have to clear this out. Finds Van Berkel, lays it off for McPherson Blair, and that'll be a Bobcat throw in. Pilots will posture up, try and keep the ball in the Bobcat half. Another throw in by Dornez. Bobcat throw. Headed by Jansen. Pilots looking to power through. Boy says, I'm going to show my physicality as well. Over the head, Hode has a bit of time to run onto this. Hode and Masters committing fully to it, but again, having that goalkeeper that can come out and play that ball as a defense is crucial in that situation. As much speed as both teams have, they've done a great job of using their keepers to pass back if they feel as though they're in trouble and can't turn with the ball. Pilots regain it at about half, put it back in, and now it's a bouncing ball. Negrich fighting over there with Owen, try and win something, and they come out with nothing as it's a Bobcat goal kick. Garnham. Hode is able to hop on the ball here, and now she's going to be springing. Henry, whose job now is just to wait and find somebody who's running past her. Doesn't find the foot of a teammate, and the Pilots are under a bit of pressure. Ball bounces around and finally comes to Masters. Pilots have a bit more time to work with here, and that'll be Bear able to put it up the line. No, deflected by Hode. Game starting to settle down for both teams. You can see the Bobcats able to have a bit more time on the ball, able to pick their passes and opponents apart, and the Providence Pilots are slowing down just a bit. The physicality might be taking its toll earlier on in the game, as both teams are going to have to try and sustain their pace of play for 90 minutes. So having that high tempo, physicality based tempo is going to wear down you a little bit faster than a slow paced passing game. Here we have a Pilots throw. Over the top, finds the line. Switcher's going to have to boot this away. McPherson Blair unable to get a good quality touch. Boys does find Jansen in the middle. Free kick, bit of a jersey pull there. Puts the ball on the ground. There, everybody backing up. This will be Creighton. Low pass over to her teammate down on the sidelines there. Here's A foul there by the Pilots forces Bear to run all the way back. Free kick here taken by Boys. Have to boot this somewhere to an area. Bobcats looking a little hesitant to commit too many people forward. Allows an easy clearance by the Pilots. Typically the team that controls the middle of the field is one that controls possession. So far the Pilots have been able to do just that. Garnham now, big throw over to Masters, bounces through them, and push on the back of Masters forces the referee to blow his whistle. This will be a free kick in a pretty dangerous spot here, given that the wind is affecting the ball a bit. And Burkle's going to look to probably curl this in, do her best not to shoot. No, she is going to try and get a shot. It's going to have to go over Foster, and she handles that pretty easily. Ball goes up in the air, and this is coming right for the camera. Oh. Oh. Ball bounces out of play and over the fence, so we just got to find a replacement here. Might have to come from the other sideline. Ball comes in here with the Bobcat throw-in. Masters there. Bobcat throw is rolled in and rolled out. Bobcats committing quite a few defenders back away from the Pilots area. Again, when things are clicking, you have to adjust, and the way the Pilots are throwing the ball, you have to set your defense back a bit further, which creates a lot more space for the Pilots to work with. Darnez does a good job with that touchdown. Plays it out to Henry. Henry's going to have to run over to this, meet it on the sideline. One move inside. Van Berkel now is going to have to make one move. Can't get around the defender, and now the Pilots are off to the races. McPherson Blair commits to that challenge and slows down everything. Does stay in bounds, finds its way down the line here, and now turnover in the middle though to Henry allows Creighton to jump on the ball. Here comes the Bobcats, they're wide open, and it goes in the back of the net. After a bit of a miscue by the Providence defense, Bobcats open the scoring here. Masters unselfishly gives it over to Hode in the middle there. Taps it in, as it would have been tough for her to put it through that angle, and Bobcats open up the scoring here despite a bit of a possession deficit. Bobcats able to capitalize on one of their fast breaks after miscue by some of the Providence defenders. You can see the Providence players just pumping each other up, realizing it's only a 1-goal deficit. Plenty of time left. Only a few minutes left in the half, I would imagine, but plenty of time left in the game. Maybe a Bobcat throw. Ball comes down to Boys, who plays it back to Josie Black. Bit of a bouncing ball. McPherson Blair has to put that out, and the referee blows the halftime whistle as the opening goal happens a minute or two before the halftime whistle, and Bobcats come out to an early 1-0 lead. We'll be back after the halftime break. everybody, and welcome back for the second half action here at the HLC of this championship game between the Providence Pilots and the Brandon University Bobcats. Bobcats were able to open the scoring in the final minutes of the first half with a goal by Georgia Hode. After a miscue by the Pilots defenders, the ball was able to go to Masters and she was able to pass it across the 6-yard box to Georgia Hode, and she opens the scoring here. Teams were able to reset at half, talk about tactics and what works, what doesn't work, and now we have a couple substitutions on both sides. So we'll get the second half started here momentarily. And both these teams are following the storyline of the first seed, second seed making it into the finals and playing each other. So Bobcats able to take the first seed, Pilots able to take the second seed in the regular season, and now here they are, battling it out for the championship of the MCAC Women's Soccer Finals. Kickoff is underway, and we're going to get the Pilots off to a running start. Takes a deflection there and heads out for a Bobcat goal kick. Pilots are posturing like they want to pressure this, so they're going to send a couple players up to make sure nothing short happens, no short passes. And that means Van Berkel's going to be able to take this and boot it as hard as she can. Pushing them back there results in a foul, and so the Bobcats will have an opportunity to get this into the Pilot half. Again, a couple substitutions for both sides. Sees a few defenders and midfield players replaced. Most notably, Ballon is in for the Bobcats as center back. And a couple offensive changes for the Pilots. Brings in Harzma, but many of the players stay the same, so we'll see what can come of the second half. Both teams had plenty of opportunities. 2 opportunities, one for each team, was just steered wide. One hitting the back of the post, actually, and the other one just steered wide on a breakaway. So the score could be higher than what it is, but at the end of the first half, and as we resume play here, it is 1-0. Winner of today's game will represent Manitoba at the Canadian Collegiate Association Finals Championship playoffs, and that'll be held in Red Deer, Alberta in early November. Not a lot of turnaround for that. That'll be held in about 2 weeks. So winner here have a couple weeks to rest and recover first and foremost, and then make sure they're ready to start things off. But here we have Henry now on the fast break, going to have to get around 2 Pilots defenders. Shoved off the ball though. Good defending there by Crichton. Ball escapes through the feet of Hode. Referee allows play to continue despite the cries for a penalty kick. Ball skips over the foot of the Pilots player and looks to be a Pilots throw-in, so maybe a final deflection there. Ball ends up rolling out of play for a Bobcats throw. Pilots posturing like they want to pressure this, keep it in the Bobcat end where they held most of the possession of the first half. We'll look to replicate that. Good challenge there by Dornez. Has Hode able to try and spring Dzongermal, who's fighting against the final defender there. Good turn there by Dornez, who's going to have to try and lay this across. Doesn't find anybody on top of the 18-yard box. Van Berkel now has a chance to try and put this back in. Decides to go wide out to Dzongermal, one of the substitutions at half for the Bobcats. Garnham now with the ball. Going to switch the field. Dornez has that energy of, I want to be first to the ball. Pilots get a little touch, but the ball ends up going backwards, so this will be a foul now against the Pilots. Referee not liking the physicality there. Both teams starting to settle into the game. Pilots finding the most success with a fast-paced, one-touch style of play here. So just getting that initial touch and then booting it into an area. Bobcats most comfortable with that slow pace style where they can pick apart and challenge many of the Pilots. Shot attempt here doesn't really challenge Foster too much. She does want to get the ball out of her hands quick though and catch some of the Bobcats rushing back out of position. Cleared there by Switzer. Ball drops down and now the Pilots have an opportunity in the Bobcat half, but that's cleared quickly by Ballin. Henry now has the ball skip over her feet and that'll be a Pilot's throw. Sheeson. That's a throw there, and now Owen. Cleared away by Van Berkel. Sheeson. Cleared away by Dornez. Bear committing the foul on Hode. Gives them an opportunity for a free kick just inside Pilot territory. Boys now. Switches the field to Garnham. Bobcats like to play in space. The Pilots are quick to the ball here, and just have a whistle there for the referee letting the coaches know they need to be within the designated coaches area. Big throw here by Garnham into the Pilot's corner and forces Foster to come out, grab the ball. She's been a centerpiece defensively for the Pilots, being able to come out and act as a final defender. Not afraid to rush out of her 18-yard box. Of course, if a goalie comes out of the 18-yard box, they cannot use their hands. They are deemed a regular player. Referee whistles down a handball here, and Sheeson is going to be standing over this free kick for the Pilots now. Wind is still going across the field, so shouldn't affect this too much, but here it comes. Josie Black's going to have to act on this. Off the crossbar. Foul there against the Pilots, it looks like, and this will be a Bobcat free kick. Great opportunity by the Pilots there, puts it off the crossbar after a fantastic free kick by Sheeson. Bobcats will have to look to just make it a little tougher on the Pilots in the air. Good job by Medeiros. Has the ball just slide out, so this will be a Bobcat throw. Both fan bases here on either end of the field on the near sideline. cranking up the intensity. We'll have to see it. Another Pilots throw in here. Bobcats will be content with just letting play happen, let the time continue to waste away. A 1-0 lead is a lead, but in terms of soccer, we're not comfortable with that. Extending that to 2 goals would be ideal for the Bobcats. Again, Pilots, all they need is just 1 goal to tie things up, and then it's a whole new game. Miscue by the Bobcats has the ball finally cleared off. We do have a Pilot down though inside the 18-yard box. We hope she's okay, but play resumes now, and Henry and Zongermel are using their speed against the defenders of the Pilots. Zongermel comes out with it, and the good deflection there by Creighton stops the play. Jansen now taken down. And this will be a free kick for the Bobcats. Boys now looking to get a tip or two from her coach with a free kick in a pretty dangerous area. This is something that can be put on net or used as a corner kick. Ball comes up high, crossbar. Jansen over top. Close call. Boys able to put that in the perfect spot. Just a little too high. Holds up in the air and hits the crossbar, comes straight down. Now we have the goalkeeper for the Pilots shaken up after the play. Here we have Shiasen now looking to boot this up and away. Great job from her, headed back in by Van Berkel, and that's exactly what has to happen for the Bobcats. They need to win this in the air. Not let anything bounce.
That's it, that's it, that's it.
Ball stays in there. Bobcats looking to use the line. Looks like a Pilots throw. Ball over the top. Foul committed by the Bobcats. Just a bit of a push in the back. Shiasen over top of the ball again. Had that perfect free kick earlier, just couldn't be capitalized on by her teammates. Referee just talking to a couple of the players inside the 18-yard box, saying no more funny business. Jason now had a practice kick, and now here's the real thing. It does float up in the air. Corner kick there. Josie Black unable to handle that as some of the Pilots were in front of her. Corner kicks have been notoriously dangerous for the Pilots as they have a couple set plays, but have been traditionally very keen on having very disciplined corner kicks. Ball comes in and hits the top of the net. Looks like an offside flag coming up for the Bobcats. Van Berkel now taking this lateral to the 6-yard box. Doesn't quite get the distance it needs, and now the Pilots have put it back in. This would be a Bobcat No, Pilot throw in. Bobcat throw in, after all. Big throw over the top as the Pilots headed near the 18-yard box. Headed up and out of play by the Pilots. Thrown by Chiasen over top of Bobcats and headed out of the play by Negrich. Pilots doing a good job just keeping the Bobcats in this area. They're just looking for one loose ball. Throwing for the Bobcats again, Dornez down the line. Finds another Pilot head. Bobcats using this time off the clock. Looks like a substitution here for the Pilots. As Bear come off and tactical change with Denora coming on. Down the line, never was touched, so this will be a Pilot's throw now. Over the top. Booted down, and we finally have play back in the middle of the field. Hold now. Booted down, and Henry's going to have time to run onto this. Foster does come out, though. She's going to have limited plays there. And we'll have the ball come in from further down the field. Bobcats, no need for urgency here, as time off the clock is a good thing for them. Pilots are going to be trying to push the play, get the ball to where it needs to be as soon as possible. Pilots have a bit of time to clear. Boyce says, no, let's put it back in. And Burkle tries to play to the outside. Garnham now. Ball comes back, and outlet pass doesn't quite make it as far as it needs to, and Fallon puts it out of play. Ball is headed up with Swaby. He's able to bring it down. Now Negrich chips it forward. Here's Owen now, the troublemaker for the Pilots. This will be a free kick for the Pilots in a pretty dangerous spot just outside the 18-yard box. Yellow card shown to Boys as well, so maybe a foul that needed to be committed to stop the play. Swaby over top of this. Might look to fancy a shot or try and get a cross over top.
Set.
Black aligning her wall to where it needs to be. Swaby scouting out to see what is available. Hits right in the middle of the wall. Swaby's gonna have to rush back to it. She does keep possession for her team. Chiasen puts it down the line, but nobody was there. Hode is able to head it back out. Ballon charging up from her defensive role to try and get a bit of possession there, and referee finally whistles down after a back and forth inside Bobcat territory. We'll have Van Berkel standing over this free kick. Puts it down the line. Out of play off of a pilot there, and Bobcats win a header, or a throw-in, excuse me. Ball kept in on the far side, but kicked out of play by the substitution, Denora. Bouncing up, and Henry's on it there, and oh, good save by Foster, able to steer that away. Lucky bounce there, has Foster make a quick reaction save, but she's down, I imagine, in pain on that left leg that she has bandaged so heavily. Great save to keep the game 1-0, keep her team in this. But she did land on that heavily bandaged leg. Was able to get up and resume play here. Bobcats might have a set play here that they want to try and utilize. Ball comes up, and Boys puts it into the back of the net. Boys is able to reach above everybody else and head that into the back of the net. Here it is, and she just towers over everybody else, able to put it away from the Pilots goalkeeper and adds to the tally that the Bobcats so desperately needed. Makes it a 2-goal advantage now for the Bobcats, after just brushing aside the pressure from the Pilots for these last 15 minutes or so. Play's going to resume here shortly after we have a player down, looks like to be a cramp inside the 6-yard box there after the goal. We hope she's okay. Looks like Mudderos is down and she's up, but she is limping, so the referee indicates that a substitution can be made now, and we do have Hoytema coming back on. So a 2-goal lead for the Bobcats has the game shifting. Bit of a momentum swing in favor of the Bobcats. 2 goals is a lead, but definitely not a comfortable one with how much time is left on the clock. Denora unable to get ahead on that, but gets the clearance after the bounce. Dornez puts the ball down the line, finds Henry. Chiasen now throws it down, met by Ballon. Ball kept in, but eventually bounces out. Bobcats taking their time, looking to use as much of the clock as possible within their power. Henry now has it. Van Berkel has to use the outside of her foot, and now the Pilots are off to the races on the counter-attack. Switzer is going to use her speed to try and just play this back to Josie Black, who's going to boot this out of harm's way. High kick there for the Pilots. Gives the free kick into pretty dangerous spot here. Chiasen has delivered some top quality free kicks here, so Josie Black's going to have to be ready, willing and able to deal with this. There's a shot attempt, never really threatened the goal though. Jason has her hands on her head, wants that one back. At this point, the Pilots are going to be switching gears pretty quickly into all or nothing on the offensive end. Referee talking to, I believe that's the Pilots striker, Owen, as Van Berkel looks on. Substitution here at half. Has Meyer sit down, and we'll have the new player on here momentarily. Looks like it's de Gueldre. Jansen has that ball slip off the top of her foot, and Dornez can't get a touch on it, so Negrich is going to be the one bringing it down for the Pilots. Puts it deep into the corner, away from the Bobcats, and now they have a tough situation, a throw in deep in their own end, where the Pilots have been able to keep them for quite a bit of this second half. Here's Ho now, chasing after Swaby, who's going to have to use Foster. Foster doesn't quite get all she wants on it. Substitutions here for the Bobcats has Dezongramel come off and Work come on the far side. Over the top and headed out by Denora. Dornez now moving up the line for this throw-in. Down the line again. Ball does go down, and now Jansen has it. Loses out to Denora. Denora tries to clear it, doesn't fall all the way down. It's going to be a Pilots throw-in deep in their own end. Big throw here from Chiasen. Gets it far enough, but the Pilots lose out on possession here, and Wark, the substitution, comes on. Tries a left-footed shot attempt, and that goes wide. A nice welcome to the second half here. Again, this is a full regular season coming to this final game. Bodies are battered and bruised. Players are in top form, but the ground and wind is cold and hard. Here come the Pilots now, looking for a fast break. Owen is able to get on it. She's going to have to find somebody. She's at a tough angle on the far side. Switzer and Herv going back and forth. Good clearance there by Garnham. Gives the Pilots a throw in. Harzma now with the ball. Hands it over to Codling. Corner kick. Substitutions for the Pilots now. Again, more tactical changes, I imagine. Bringing on some offensive power to try and get back into this game as we close in on the final 17 minutes plus any added time. Again, the winner of this game will go over to the Red Deer Complex in Alberta to represent Manitoba and play against the other provinces. It's a good corner there by Chiasen, but she has to rush all the way to the opposite side of the field to get back into position. Pilot throw in. Negrich wearing the captain's armband. Denora now throwing it in. Big throw from her. Has the ball fall to the feet of the substitute de Guelda, and now looks like a foul just outside the 18-yard box. This is in a pretty dangerous area. This is where a right-footed player can curl this ball in. With a bit of wind holding it up, it can stay in the air a bit longer, make it tougher for the goalkeeper. 2 players in the wall, and here comes Swaby. Swaby putting it over top, looks like it's going over top of the net, and the header on the far side goes over top as well. Another opportunity quelled by the Bobcat defense. And Burkle decides to take this quickly. Headed back in. Pilots not relenting on this. Pilot throw in deep in Bobcat territory now. Can the 2-time defending champions stave off this pressure from the Pilots and keep their 2-0 lead? Big throw here. Denora. Ball bounces around. Couple headers, and Jansen able to clear it with her noggin. Denora now looking to put this in. Deflection off of Bobcat, and the ball rolls out for a throw-in, I believe. Bobcats committing everybody except Georgia Hode onto the defensive end of things here. Georgia Hode is up at the top just in case the ball gets cleared. She can try and cause the Pilots defense a bit of trouble there. Boy's able to get her head on it. Henry's going to have to try and clear this, but Sheason uses her left foot and puts it out to the end for a goal kick. Van Berkel now over to Ballon. Ballon has the power to clear this and give her defense a bit of a break. She does so, and the ball falls to Georgia Hode, who's on the break. 1 player to beat.
Keep her out there. Keep her out.
Her job might be just to stave it off, but Georgia Hode goes across goal. And over top of the net is Wark. Over top of the net with a clear chance. Bobcats holding their heads. Wark had a wide open net there. But a great opportunity. Good counterattack there after the pressure from the Pilots. Substitution here has Jansen come off and Marin come on. Marin a more defensive midfield, a controlling midfield. So a bit of a tactical change here. Ball up in the air and met by Dornez and Negrich. The Gueldra now out to Switzer, able to meet that. Doing a good job anchoring the defense. Physical push there by Denora, and Marin has Marin earn her team a free kick. Ballon signaled to go in, get that 3rd goal, which would put this game to bed almost. Switzer's going to have to judge this in the air, does so, and now Boys is able to get that high kick. Negrich is able to head that away, and Bobcat defense doing a good job of getting the first touch contact here, not letting the ball drop, not looking for a second touch. Looking to just clear it on the first. Negrich over to Denora.
Slow down, don't stop.
Crichton, Shazen doing a good job keeping it in. Touched up by the Bobcats, so this will be a throw in for the Pilots. Taken well, now Boys is gonna have to clear this. Here comes Negrich, might fancy a shot from distance. Shazen, and the offside flag comes up anyway. Pilots show some signs of life. Josie Black slow to get up. So physio indicated to come on after as Josie Black is, after making the save, slow to get up. So she'll be looked at here. Again, winner of today's game will go on to the finals over in Red Deer, Alberta to represent Manitoba against the other provinces and collegiate teams victorious in their provincial battles. Both teams here having fought hard and I would say pretty evenly matched, with the top seed Bobcats having a 2-goal lead over the second seed Pilots. Pilots almost mimicking the Bobcats record this year. Just one draw is what separates them, 1 point on the leaderboard. But a great match so far, has both teams utilizing their strengths. And now just have a bit of a timeout for injury on the Bobcats goalkeeper. The two-time defending champions, Bobcats, are going to be looking to posture in a calm, cool, collected way here to stave off the pressure that is coming from the Pilots, no doubt, in the upcoming minutes here as we enter the final 10 minutes plus any extra added time. Clearance there by Garnham doesn't go as far as it needs to, and Marin is up against Swaby. Swaby able to turn, but loses the ball to Dornez. Dornez pushes the ball out and gives the Pilots a throw in. Sheason with the big throw here, finds Dornez, so she's going to try and clear this down the line. Hoydema now with the throw. Over top, Dornez does get a touch on it, and now Switzer is going to have to clear this out. Switzer is down there, and now physio indicated to come on to look at her after the contact with Owen. Again, both teams leaving it all out on the field. I'm sure there's lots of lingering injuries and sores that are just getting amplified today after the tackles and bumps and bruises that are happening today. So we're hoping the Switzer is able to get up under her own power here and play can resume. And no doubt nerves are at an all-time high now with the final single-digit number of minutes remaining. Plus any added time is going to be added on. Pilots want to get things going as soon as possible here, no doubt. Bobcats are happy to just try and set up their defense that they need. So Switzer's going to have to go off here as a precaution and then be allowed back on when she indicates to the ref that she's able to. Play resumes with a throw in for the Pilots. Ballon's able to meet that in the air, and Boys hits that out, and now it'll be a corner kick for the Pilots. Something the Pilots have done well is utilize these corner kicks. Sheason has been tough to deal with on these. Here's one high up in the air, headed away by the Bobcats. Now Georgia Hode is off to the races, and she's got work. Defended well by Creighton, but Marin's there to meet it. And now the Bobcats are back. They might just be happy to keep the ball here. Over to Marin. Marin has a poor first touch and the ball bounces up. Work now. Rushing over to it. She's going to use her left foot to cross this in. Does so. Ball slips through. Boys and Denora battling for it down the line. Garden doing a good job just sending it back in and letting things unfold. Foster able to grab this, and she's going to have a possession kick. She's going to boot it down. Ball slips out the outside of her foot and doesn't quite go as far as she's used to it going. Boys now has sprung some of the Bobcat offense, and here comes Work again. Has a bit of space, shoots, and it goes wide. So the downside of having so many offensive players committed by the Pilots is that their defense is a skeleton crew of what it used to be. So the Bobcats can utilize those quick passes to get through them. So you can see shortly there's going to be 4 white jerseys up at the halfway mark committed to trying to equalize this game. Here comes Owen up with Negrich. Owen against Ballin. Ballin doing good shoulder-to-shoulder work there defensively. Goal kick for the Pilots, or for the Bobcats, excuse me. Owen exclaiming that she needs a foul to be called with Ballin just moving her off the ball, but that was good defensive work by Ballin to force Owen to the outside first and then force her off the ball so that it would go out the end for a goal kick. Van Berkel over the top. One bounce. Jason doing a good job of keeping that. Ball stays in and goes all the way down the side. So Bobcats happy with that. They're going to look to keep things in this area for as long as they can. Tornez is able to stop the progress there. Denora boots it up. Boys has it down. Over to Work. Work has quite a bit of room on that far side. She might look to play it up the side for Georgia Hode, and does. Creighton's going to have to defend her. Hode's job now is just to hold up the ball, use as much time off the clock as possible. She just might go to the corner there. No.
That's what you do. That's it.
Bobcat throw in here. Pilots desperate to get this ball out of the Bobcat feet. And just to boot it up, essentially, just boot it up the field. Hode now doing a good job just bringing the ball over to the corner and shielding as many players. Pilots are going to have to be careful not to foul them, or not to foul her, while trying to get it away. Marin gets a shove in the back. That'll be a free kick, potentially, given that the referee blew his whistle. Substitution here brings Dornez off the field, and we'll have Castillo come on. A defensive substitution, no doubt, bringing 4 to the back. Van Berkel now looking to probably just get this into the 18-yard box. Put it down low for Boys. Boys is going to get a one-time shot, gets a volley, and that goes right off the chest of Creighton. It's a foul against the Bobcats as Wark dragged down Creighton. Van Berkel does a good job heading that back in. Swaby with a good ball forward. And we have a corner kick for the Pilots as everybody rushes back. Switzer claiming a push in the back made her fall to the ground by Owen. Chiasen now looking to put this into a dangerous spot. It's going to be on her off her right foot. Good low ball there. As the ball go wide for another corner kick. hard to see with that mixture of white and blue jerseys. A higher one this time finds the back, and Georgia Josie Black able to tip that over top of the net for a corner kick. So this will be favoring the right foot of Chiesa now on this near side. I imagine she might be going for goal here. Ball goes headed down. Just a quick tip over the top is all that's needed to redirect that to safety. And now Josie Black's got another one to worry about. High up in the air. Headed down, headed away, kicked away. Bobcats are off to the races now with Henry having to send it now. Hode's going to use her speed. Foster's coming out. Offside flag does go up. So this will be a offside kick here. Referee indicating that there is a linesman wanting to talk to him on the far side. So linesman and referee just talking there about something they might have seen. So it might be a yellow card out of his pocket, but for what, we're not too sure. Referee talking to the coaches there of the Bobcats. Diego Senior. Indicating referee talking to some of the assistant coaches is indicating that the head coach can be out moving about, but the assistants cannot. 5 more minutes, says the referee. 5 more additional minutes. Chiesa now puts his ball into play. Marin with a good clearance, one-touch clearance there. Now she has the ball back at her feet, but pushed off the ball there. Negrich. Josie Black has a boot to about halfway. Boys, though, able to clear it now, and Henry's off to the races. Bobcats will look to just keep this ball in possession. They don't want to lose possession. They won't want to have the Pilots kick this ball away, but Marin now has it on her foot. Henry's off to the races. She's got a tough angle to beat. Foster does so over to Warwick, who taps it in. 3rd goal of the game for the Bobcats, all but seals the deal. As the break after the pressure of the Pilots is capitalized on. So here's Henry, tough angle there, decides to go across. She sees Warwick streaking in quick on that far post, and she's able to put it into the back of the net. Bobcats able to maybe cement the final goal of the game here as we have time ticking down. 2 more minutes on the clock if the referee holds true to his word of 5 extra minutes. Here's Owen though, saying we're not giving up. 3 goals is something, but it's not the be-all end-all, and the ball's going to come out the far side for a Bobcat throw. Pilots have to commit as many players as they can now. That leaves their defense exposed. As we just saw, the Bobcats able to exploit the fact that they've committed so many of their defensive players up front. Marin now looking to pass this to Warwick, who might try and spring Hode and just keep this within the possession of the Bobcats. Pilots are going to desperately try to get this back in to the opposition half. This will be a Pilot throw. This will be the maximum urgency you'll see out of a team here. The final 2 minutes of the game. Down 3 goals, looking to try and get something. Denora touches that out, and that'll be
take your chances, girls.
A Bobcat throw.
Don't be risky now.
Over the top, puts the ball in the corner, and that has to go out of bounds. Cooey has to walk back after putting that ball out. Guard him now, taking her time with the throw and use as much of the clock as she can. Hode trying to just keep this in the corner. Bobcats doing a good job of game management here, just using the clock and using the pace of play to slow it down as much as they can. Pilots are going to desperately try and clear this. Improper throw there gives the Pilots a throw, and now they're off to the races. You're going to see them try and get this ball out as quick as possible. Another Pilot throw.
Okay. Go total offense here.
Big throw is going to see the Pilots push the ball up as much as they can, but the Bobcats are exploiting that empty backfield there. They have the empty defensive line, and there's the whistle for full time. Bobcats secure their third straight championship as the Pilots look on. Bobcats are headed to Red Deer to represent Manitoba. A fantastic game by both teams sees the Bobcats come out on top. We'll be back for the men's game after this break.
Banner ceremony.
Played well.
I got them.
Okay, played well, girls. That's it.
Absolutely, yeah.
Once again, our thanks to the Providence Pilots for coming out today, being a part of this Final Four matchup. We're going to get set with our Player of the Game presentations, followed by the championship ceremony. The MCAC Player of the Game from the Providence Pilots is number 9, Jenna Harzma. And the Player of the Game from the BU Bobcats, number 13, Georgia Hode. Again, fans, can we make some noise for the Providence Pilots? Thank you, Providence. As we now get set for the championship ceremony, please welcome the new president of the MCAC, Don Curry, here to help make the presentations. As we're now going to call up the girls one by one to get their medals, first of all. We'll call them in order. First, number 1, Josie Black. Number 2, Peyton Burton. Number 3, Lore Desingrimal. Number 4, Taryn Ballin. Number 5, Brogan Henry. Number 6, Keisha Masters. Number 7, Regan Garnham. Number 8, Mackenzie Boyes. Number 9, Sophia Calliar. Number 10, Sarah Switzer. Number 11, Emily Dornes. Number 12, Kennedy Jansen. Number 13, Georgia Hode. Number 14, Victoria Gonzalez Castillo. Number 15, Kaylee Dittmer. Number 16, Molly McPherson Blair. Number 17, Tyann Martinez Okamo. Number 18, Deborah Moran. Number 20, Bean Van Berkel. Number 22, Abby Jo Wark. Number 23, Katie Ray Byram. Number 30, Allison Beaumont. And our reserves, Casey Lamoureux. Ashley Backus. Not here. Shanti Church. And Tia Wagar. Not here? Okay, yeah. And now you guys. Good enough. And now for the coaching staff. First head coach, Diego Rodriguez. Next up, assistant coach, Scott Haddo. Assistant coach, Awal. Assistant coach, Marika Papadenitz. and athletic therapist, Corinne St. Kitts. And we got to get Bryce. Bryce, go get a medal as well. You've been a part of this team all year. It's time now for us to announce our MCAC Championship MVP. This is given to the player that was just be the most valuable player throughout the championship weekend. From the BU Bobcats, your MVP, number 5, Broken Henry. All right. Girls, you've worked so hard for this all year. Please come and get your banner and trophy, the leadership team. Bobcat Nation, make some noise for your championship women's soccer team. Coming up next, we got the men's game. At 2:30 here it begins between your BU Bobcats and the CMU Blazers with another spot to nationals on the line. Make sure to go visit Bailey's Cafe. Get yourself a hot dog. They got hot chocolate, chips, and drink as well. Help support Bailey's Cafe.